Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong with another movie review. Recently I was going through a phase of really being in the mood for horror flicks, for thrillers, zombies and things, etc. And I came across this French film called Sheitan. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. It's an Arabic word for Satan. And it opens with a group of young people out on the town in the city, clubbing at a night, going to nightclubs. One of the things that's kind of interesting is that it depicts modern France in how ethnically diverse it's become. The group of young people, there's a man who's Asian, maybe perhaps Chinese, or a young black man, a white guy, and a woman who's possibly Indian or Pakistani. I don't know, I just had to comment on that. I was kind of struck by that, because usually when I think of the French or in French films, there's not that much diversity, usually. The other thing that I noticed was the influence of American culture. So much of it was like centered around hip hop, and sort of like the white guy was this sort of Eminem, the whole black influence on fashion. So I was a little bit amused by that. So the basis of the movie is this group of young people out clubbing, and as I said, basis. I see the contrast between the city and the rural. Excuse me, the city and the country. Urban versus rural. So this night, under a set of circumstances, the group of young people meet a very attractive young woman who invites them out to the country to go to her home, and in fact, this takes place on Christmas Eve. So they're going to go spend Christmas Eve at her place in the country. As it turns out, it's a rather large place, and it looks like she's probably a rich kid or something like that. And the house is filled with odd things, mainly doll parts and things, because her father was a toy maker. I don't think I'm giving too much away here. Watch the trailer, and you'll see some of that stuff. But the town, the village, is very odd, and it's filled with some strange characters, much like Fall River, Massachusetts. They're just odd and strange, and there's a general type of creepiness going on. So you know something bad's going to happen. The wonderful thing about watching foreign films is they're not so predictable, because we're dealing with another culture. We're dealing with a different perspective than ours. So the same sort of trite plot developments that we see in American films, sometimes it's comforting knowing what's going to happen next, but sometimes I like to be surprised, and I found this movie unpredictable. I watched it on Netflix with subtitles. Sometimes I get in discussions with people about subtitles versus dubbing. I myself prefer subtitles. A strange thing about watching a movie with subtitles for me is I'll find, even though I don't understand what they're saying, I'll find myself turning up the sound to listen to them. It's kind of an odd thing. But one of the thing, I wouldn't recommend this movie as a great movie, but it's one of those films that after you watched it, for me, I kept thinking about it for days and days and days. In fact, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen the movie, since I've watched the movie. The handyman, the caretaker of the home, is the standout character. He's very, very French, has strong Gallic features, and he always walks around with this big shit-eating grin. It's just amazing seeing him on camera. And the editing was very interesting editing. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. And so the title of the movie is that, oh, and see the link below for the trailer. I try not to give out anything more than what you'd see in the trailer. Uh, and let me run by the cast here real quick. Oh, sorry here. Yeah, it's not that anybody we would recognize, but it was directed by, and excuse my pronunciations, I mean, it's all French people and stuff. And Sheitan, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. It was directed by Kim Chaperon, written by Christian Chaperon and Kim Chaperon. So it looks like a brothers involved in it. Starring Vincent Cassel, Olivier Barthelemy, Roxanne Mesquita. Maybe that Roxanne is probably the attractive woman that lures them there, more or less invites them. They decide to go. Nico Lefatan, Leila Bakhti, Lady Lee, Monica Bellucci. Anyway, yeah, I saw it on Netflix streaming, and I enjoyed it. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to Deliverance, but it's that sort of thing. You know, how people from the city can find the country very creepy. I myself love the city and the country. All right, this is Citizen Kong with another movie review. Oh, let me drink out of my coffee cup. Cheers.